Hi there, it's Chloe here from Donorfy, and today I want to show you how you can take donations directly from your website into Donorfy using donation forms. So if you haven't seen forms already, then forms enable you to take in data directly from your website, either as a standalone page or embedded into an iframe in your website. I'll show you how quick and easy it is to create a form. First of all, just make sure that you've got your branding in place. Think about what colours you want your buttons, the font colour, the background colour, what the font is that you'll be using on your form. Also, whether you want to show the form in panels like this, or remove it to show it as one single block of text. You can also show how you want your inputs and buttons to look, so whether you want them to be rounded, underlined, or the default setting. So have a play around and see how you want it to look in line with your brand guidelines. Now, once you have got your brand set up, you'll just need to add your form. So we'll pick a donation form here, and this is our general donation form. You can also link it to a campaign. Once I save those changes, then that will then add a form underneath, and it will ask me some certain details. It will show analytics as well of your forms of how many times it's been submitted, and then it will ask you for some behaviour. So what the form description is, whether there is a display message, or if you want to redirect it to another thank you page, you can add the code in there. And finally, think about whether you want it as a standalone page or if you want it to be embedded into an iframe on your website. So if I preview the form here at the moment, it is a standalone page. So it will take into account all of the branding that we've put into place, and it will appear as a standalone page with the Donorfy URL. But if you do want to have it as an iframe, you would just turn that off, and that would look like this, but it would be embedded in your website instead. The designer is where you will start to add certain details. So first of all, we can put some form content in here. I can change that to headers. I can also add constituent details. So as standard, we ask for first name, last name, and email address, but you could also ask for phone numbers and postal addresses if you wanted to as well. Next, we are going to change the donations. So it could be that you wanted to add one-off gifts, monthly recurring gifts, and gift aid as well. And you can change the amounts. So your one-off gifts might look different to your monthly recurring gifts. So for example, you might choose to have 10, 25 or £50 and say what each of those will provide from their donation. Or your monthly gifts might be slightly smaller, so 5, 10 or £20 that you encourage people to give. You can also choose for the monthly recurring gifts whether it's through a card payment by Stripe or a direct debit by Go Cardless, so you can make that choice depending on how you want to process those donations. You can also ask them to enter their own other one-off amount if you want to as well, rather than just having the choices. Or you can just have a fixed amount as well. Or finally, you could just allow them to enter any amount that they choose. But this is the default that we have on the forms, and then you can change that. You could also add an annual option as well. You can also allow them to gift aid their donation. So if it is a product or something they're donating to that won't be gift aidable, then you can turn that off, but we turn it on as default. And then you can also allow donations to be assigned to certain funds. So if you wanted to give people a choice of donating between certain funds, then they could select those from a drop down that will appear on your form, and in your configuration you can choose to create a forward facing word for your fund that will show on the forward facing form rather than seeing your internal words that you use for your fund as well. You can choose to connect it to an existing constituent if you would prefer. If not, this is ready to go. So you can see how quick and simple that is. And when they click onto the donation, give them the options that we've provided. If it was a single card payment, it will ask them for their card details straight away. If it's a monthly direct debit, then as soon as they hit donate, it will take them through to Go Cardless to set up their direct debit. In terms of processing, you can also choose where the donation goes, as with any other defaults in Donorfy. So the product, the fund, the department, the bank account, the channel. You can also choose to send acknowledgement emails immediately. So if you want to send acknowledgement straight out as soon as they've hit donate, you can turn that on. You can add some other things as well, especially if you wanted an automated campaign off the back of them making a donation through this way. You might also want to change some of the things that are on here. So for example, how would you like to give? You can change that on here. We've given you some default ones, but you can change those on here as well. So there's lots of options for you to make changes to your forms. The other final thing to say about donation forms as well is once you've got the donation in there, it doesn't just have to be for donations. So you can still do other things that you can do with forms. For example, add a tag, either ask them a question and add a tag or just add a tag automatically. You could add an activity as well to say that they've submitted the form, potentially create a task for somebody if you need to. You can also add communication consent as well. So there's lots of different things that you can add to your form, but if you just want a quick and easy way of getting money in, that's also possible as well, because it's really easy to create these forms. We hope you enjoy using this. Thanks again for being a Donorfy user, and we hope to speak to you soon.